I fish 1.5 gram jig head. I believe it's 1.5 with a wire hook. And a 2.5 inch gulp minnow. If you watch my videos, you'd not be surprised that I'm fishing this combination. Absolutely love I fish jig heads. We do have a couple of geese that are stirring up some trouble in front of me. I'm gonna wait for people to trickle into the live stream. And meanwhile, maybe I'll get lucky. All right, let's keep going. Yo, what's going on, Thule? I'm gonna fish a shallow creek today, so I'm not gonna fish drop shot. But I'm fishing with I'm trying to catch a fish, and we found a dead brown here yesterday, and browns absolutely love gulp minnow, so I'm gonna try to catch that. But I think I'm going fishing tomorrow again, and at that point, I am gonna be using a drop shot. Today, I just want to walk around. I'm not using any spinners today. If anything, I use a mice tail. I'm still waiting for warmer weather so I can use lures. Gotta figure out how to get down there. I'm feeling great, man. Thanks for asking. So you were not on a live stream yesterday. So yesterday, oh wow, that goose is like taking a ride in never seen that before. You ever seen a goose take a ride in a river? That's pretty cool. Never seen that before. Anyways, yeah, so yesterday I'm doing a live stream and my dad gets T-boned in his car. He keeps calling me and he keeps messing up my live stream, but I thought it was some nonsense phone call. And then, yeah. So yeah, yesterday's live stream wasn't the best at the end because I kept popping out. He kept calling me because he didn't know what to do. Some 18-year-old kid or whatever T-boned him in his parents' car. All right, I gotta get down there. This is not gonna be a fun ride. All right, hold on, everybody. I know I'm going for a ride here. I already got stuck to the branch. Hold on. That's why it's good to go when you go creek fishing. That's why I like to bring shorter rods because you keep getting stuck on everything. I gotta take a slide down there. Hopefully not on my butt. Oh. All right, here we are. Oh, jeez. Look at all this dead vegetation here. Oh, you guys can't see it. Hey, what's going on, Muhammad? You can see all this dead vegetation here through my polarized glasses. What's up? What kind of question you got? That's a good spot right there. But I'm not sure if I stirred up. Like, that's a very bassy spot right there. I think I stirred up some stuff, so. Oh, dude. Perfect cast. That's not a fish, is it? No, it's not. Yeah, that was a branch. It came off. What lures do you use usually in these areas? So in these areas, people like to use, this is what I'm using right now. I'm using gulp minnow, but you can use soft plastics on a jig head. You see this little jig head? And, but you can use a bunch of other stuff. You can use little spinners. Here, I'll show you my pack, what I have. It's a bunch of different things. See this? You can take a print screen of that. And some of those work really well. You see that? Just print screen it. You see the spinner. You see the this one I don't really use that much, but these little things I made that myself. That's a trout magnet. That's a trout magnet with a power bait egg. That's probably what I'm going to use today. And use mice tails if you are going to a stock stream. You see this? Jesse, what's going on? We're fishing for trout. I don't know how lucky we're going to get today, but if there's trout here, I got the perfect lure for it. At least that's what we caught our last 3 or 4 trout on. That's the one that worked. A gulp minnow 2.5 inch. Let me just tell him to not call me during a live stream. Hold on. Let me tell him. I'll call you back after 3. All right. Yeah, my trout lock doesn't work either. My trout lock hasn't been very good. But we did find a dead brown trout yesterday. It was just floating by me as I was fishing. And I fished here for many years and I've never caught a brown trout here. So they're here. You see the gulp minnow, you can see how, like, I don't know if you see it with my polarized glasses, I can see it better, but it basically swims like a little fish. Let me move up a little bit. Oh, hell no. Sorry about that, but that went the wrong way. That was going right into the trees. Sometimes when you cast one-handed, at least for me, you can get into some trouble. Yep, there you go, it's better. Hey, what's going on, Grumpy? Yeah, don't get freedom. No, it's my pops, but he's been, because of his accident yesterday, he wants me to keep calling the police department, but police department sometimes takes up to 7 days to get a police report. I don't know how many of you have older parents, but especially if your parents are like, my dad is very like, he's very needy. But I understand. He got hit. It wasn't his fault yesterday when he got hit. So the great injustice has been done. The thing that sucks though is that his car is going to probably be totaled. What country I'm at? I'm fishing in New Jersey. We do have a guy from Serbia. His name is Ivan. Sometimes he comes into the stream. And yeah, I don't think there's any trout there either. Well, it is a trouty spot, but let's cast one more time, and because it's deep. You see that tree? Because there's a spot like that where we usually catch trout, where they kind of congregate, the rainbows. I just cast it right on top of the log, that big log you see. And it bounced off, so I'm thankful. All right, let's keep moving. This is a beautiful spot, though, for the summertime. That's exactly where all the smallies and largemouth bass will be sitting. All right, one more cast over there. It's very deep over there, I know that. Handmade micro jigs. How about your Jersey boy with a winning goal for the Team USA? Yep, exactly. That was an awesome game to watch. Canadian teams, I have nothing bad to say. I don't know why some people are ragging on Canada so much, but Canadian teams have been so unlucky in the past 6 months. It's not even funny. They basically lost everything. I think Oilers lost the Stanley Cup. It's pretty crazy. Look how pretty this is, right? Who would have thought this is Jersey? Oh man, it is nice. Let me take a video of this. Crocodile alligator. Yeah, we still got snow. We're in Jersey. Let me take a quick video of this. All right, off we go. Sorry about that. Just gonna show you some of that. I'm gonna sample some Jersey beauty for you guys. Yeah, Jersey. Let me do one more cast in there. There is a deep hole right over there. Maybe we'll get something out of it. Oh, perfect. All the way to the end. Come on. But the good thing is it's getting warm. Looks like the image when you search Google. Oh, you like you like that? I took that image with my phone. You know what I have? If you guys like to make like POV content, please don't go buy a GoPro. Just get yourself a neck mount for your phone with a little magnetic ring. So I use that just, and then you set a timer on your camera, right, on your iPhone for 3 or 5 seconds, and then you can take POV shots with your phone. It's much better than buying GoPro or any of that stuff. I think GoPro, honestly, unless you're a professional creator, GoPro is a waste of money at this point. Ooh, look at that. I like it there. It's a nice, man, I've never been to this spot before. It's a nice hole here. That is a nice hole over there. That's perfect. I don't know why. Look. Wow. Yeah, my phone is on my neck right now. It's not tied, it's a mount. Here, I'll show it to you. See that? Check it out. You see that thing? Yeah. I mean, I'm too old to care what it looks like from the outside, but that's how you get a POV view. And you just take it on in 2 seconds. You saw how quickly I took it off to show it to you? I know the trout can hear me. Man, if I was a trout, I'd totally live there. It's a nice hole. That's probably full of creek chubs in the summer. All right, let's keep walking. Might find an arrowhead, you never know. This is one of those spots where you do find an arrowhead in Jersey. The Lenape Indian tribe used to live here. Panning for gold? I wish. I'm panning for fish, my friend. I would prefer not goldfish, but a brown fish, like a brown trout. I'll take it. But if I get a golden nugget, I'm not gonna throw it out, if you know what I mean. I never even looked for arrowheads ever in my life until somebody pointed out to me that Lenape tribes used to be all over this place. And he's like, you're definitely gonna find an arrowhead if you keep walking the stream for a couple of years. So yeah, maybe one day. All right, let's go back because I don't want to get too deep in there. Yeah, but this area, not a lot of people from Jersey even know this place exists. Let's see. You still need a harness. Oh, I'm sorry, Ian. I missed your post. You said you still need a harness. I mean, get a chest harness, but I swear by my neck harness because it's so useful. Chest harness takes a while to put on. My neck harness is just one clip, and it unclips. I can have it off in 2 seconds. Actually, the neck harness that I use, you can also use it as a tripod because it's wiry, so it's actually pretty strong. There's like a variety of uses. Oh, that's a perfect cast if I ever seen one. Come on, brown trout. Let's go. If anything, later I'll switch to a mice tail. Nah. For some reason, it doesn't cast as well as a rooster tail was casting yesterday. Oh, I gotta get used to casting this, but because it's interesting. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody in the chat while I stay on this river. Let me check. Let's see what you guys wrote. Oh, hey, you're average playing fan. Wait, isn't you? Your name is Thomas, right? You're confused. What are you confused about, Mr. Muhammad? Yo, Ronyo, what's going on? Hey, FNC, I see probably 20 arrowheads around Oregon. That's awesome. I bet you I'll find one as long as I stay around and keep fishing here. This is a good spot right here, actually. We're going to fish this. I'm sorry I didn't catch up to the chat right away. But yeah, FNC, Muhammad, is definitely your screen. Because I'm on 5G ultra wideband and I got 4 out of 5 bars. Let's see what else. Oh, my bad. What was your average playing fan? What was your username before you changed it? I apologize. Dude, this is the most perfect place for a brown trout right there. It's nice and deep and there's a lot of current. Why is it not biting? We were hitting this with a spinner yesterday, but I was told that it's a little too early for spinners, so that's why I'm here with a gulp minnow. Shadow, what's up? Man, I feel bad. I can't keep up to the chat. I want to fish and keep up to the chat. Let me cast it further, so while I reel, I can read. Oh, that's right, Shadow. My bad. I'm sorry. Damn it. You left me a comment about that. I remember you left me a comment about 2 weeks ago on one of my shorts. I'm telling you, man, getting old sucks. I forget everything. And I don't mean bad. It just, I don't know. Some old timers in the chat will tell you, man. Once you got a couple of kids and your parents are getting old, you start to forget things. That gulp minnow looks pretty good. I don't know why there's no bite. That's actually exactly the kind of setup we caught a brown trout on first week of January. We caught a wild brown, but at a different location. And that's exactly how we caught all the other fish. So I am confusion. Why it's not working? No, Dave. This is going to be a while till we catch something. The water's still super cold. I'm going to measure the temp of the water in a second. Once you hit 40, the memories start to fade. Yes, sir. That's actually one of the biggest reasons I created a YouTube channel, because I can't remember shit. I'm sorry for my French. I'll look at some videos now from last year, May of last year, that I uploaded, and I'll be like, oh, that's right, we did that. I'm like an old grandpa, but I'm only 41. But I start forgetting that. Hey, Lumi, what's going on? Andre Dro, don't worry, be happy. That is true. I'm not worried about much. I just don't like to be live streaming and not catching fish. I feel like I'm doing you guys a disservice. But I've been saying that for the past 4 months. Because I started off really hot in October and September catching a ton of crappie. And now we're just kind of but that's just kind of how trout fishing is. I think did Bob catch anything today? Anything is possible. He was also fishing with a similar setup in Pennsylvania creeks that are full of trout. He didn't catch anything while I was watching him. Oh, that's a good cast right there. That's a fishy cast. Come on. Stuck. I got excited there. It's happening again. Yeah, Muhammad, but it's you, man. I'd say reload your YouTube app. It's definitely you, because I would definitely know right away. I have 5G ultra wideband, 5 bars out of 5. What your favorite fish that I could... Whoa, what the... There's snow coming down from the trees and scaring the crap out of me. My favorite fish I've caught? Well, not me, but I was next to my kid when we caught a Arctic char in Iceland. Completely randomly. And that was the prettiest and the best fish we caught between me and my kid. Let's put it that way. Arctic char is like a pretty rare fish to catch a big one, but we caught a huge one. It was like 5 pounds. Man. Why am I not having any luck here today? So we were doing this yesterday, right? Suffering, and then next thing you know, there's a brown trout just floating by me, a dead one. So there's also a chance a lot of them didn't make it through the winter. Slow bite in Oregon too. Yeah, well, let's check the temps just so we're not. So I'm not talking crazy. Look, the temperature of the water is probably going to be around 38 degrees. Yesterday was 37, so if it's warming up, it's not warming up fast. Let's check it. Hold on. 1 second, guys. I don't know why I decided to put my scissors in my thermometer. Good. That was not a good idea. Hold on. 1 second. All right, here's my handy dandy thermometer. All right, let's turn it on. We're going. So the air temp is probably around 45 right now. It's dropping. Let's put it in the water. All right. Let's check. I bet you the temp of the water is going to be like 38, 39 degrees. All right, 37.8. So yeah, close to 38. Jason J, what's going on? Andrew Hondo, dead trout are not the only thing flows down the East River here. Yeah, yesterday I learned a new thing. It's called Winterkill. So it happens a lot in the winter. I'm sure many of you know about it, but basically fish get trapped under the ice and the sun can't, like if the snow falls on top of the ice, which happened a lot here, what happens is the penetration of the sun stops and there's zero photosynthesis with the plants, the water plants. So basically no oxygen is created. There's no flowing water like that to create oxygen. And the fish just dies off because there's zero oxygen. It's almost like when you put a bunch of minnows in a bucket and you don't give them any aeration, they just die, right? Well, the same thing happens to the fish in the lake or river if it's fully iced over. And we had the roughest winter that I've seen in my life in Jersey in terms of temperatures of snow and ice, so that's probably what happened. See, this is such a perfect hole for a trout to live in. I don't understand why there wouldn't be a fish there. Maybe you should try cast from shore. Frying fish. Nah, well, right now I'm standing on the ground. Usually you don't fry in the fish. Whoa, what was that? Was that snow? Oh, it was snow. What happens is, you see how that tree has all that snow in it? It's slowly falling into the river and scaring the crap out of me because every time it falls in the river, it makes a sound, right? You guys know about the joke about if the tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to see it, doesn't make a sound. Well, that shit's scaring the crap out of me, falling off the tree like that. Because every time it falls, just like right now, I feel like there's a bear charging me. So let's see. Snow is a curse word. In Florida it is. That is very true, and Ronio is from Florida. All right, let's see what you write there. Here in West Virginia, the trout fishing has been a grind for some folks, even when they stock them. Oh, it's been absolutely horrible here. I think you guys have the same problem we had. There was barely any rain, and the temperatures were too high. So when they stock trout in Jersey in October, late October, a lot of fish just died right away. None of them were biting. And a hole like this, right? There would be a hole like this with a bunch of fish in it. There would be about 10 guys standing around, and they would all take turns casting. and the fish didn't want to bite. Not only because it was pressured, it just was, the temperature and the conditions of the water were just not right. So yeah, that's exactly what happened here last year. It was horrible. We fished the first day of stocking. We fished and we caught 3 fish, but that was very hard. That was one of them was on a spinner, the other one was a power bait, and I think 2 of them were power bait. I don't like personally to fish with power bait, but it is what it is. Hey, what's going on? 5 rainbows. Nice. Hey Z, what's going on? We got Z, we got F4C, we got a whole gang here. Look, I couldn't wish for a more perfect spot. Z, this is the same creek where I found rainbow trout. Brown trout yesterday. Man, like if they're gonna bite anything, in my experience, it's gonna be a gulp minnow, and then nothing's happening. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna start throwing mice tails. We can try mice tails. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, Shadow. You have to bring me to the fish? Sure. If you bring me, we're probably not gonna catch anything anyway. That's how it works. I'm like the dark cloud of fishing for the past couple of months. It's been the only and I'll bring my kid, right? I brought my kid ice fishing. I was getting skunked twice. He casts in his ice fishing jig and pulls out a bluegill like 3 minutes into fishing. Meanwhile, I'm out there sitting for 2 hours, can't catch anything. And he's using my rod. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use a mice tail. Yeah, well, I'll show you guys. I have something very special. Not a lot of people have this stuff, but I can't fish it here. I just brought it maybe for scent. How many of you know what this is? You can't really see it here. But basically, these are actual salmon eggs from upstate New York. Like they're from an actual salmon, and they've been preserved properly. But I just grabbed them maybe for scent. I'm gonna dip like a mice tail in them, or at least try to. I'm not sure if I want to deal with it right now, but yeah, the real live salmon eggs. Maybe I should stick one on when I put a mice tail on. Maybe I should stick one on top of the hook. The weather is pretty nice. Let's see, what's the outside temperature? Let's see. I'll tell you what the temps are outside. It's about 50 right now. It is about 50. I mean, I don't understand how on a spot like this I can't catch a trout. These spots are so much better than the spots I fished before. Did Bob, for those of you guys that were in his live stream, did Bob, anything is possible from PA, did he catch anything today on a gulp minnow when he was fishing for trout? All right, 2 more casts with the gulp minnow, and then we're going to worms, power worms. Some people swear by the worms. I don't have those pinkish worms, but I have the mice tail worms. Not that I got it. Hey, DCP, what's up? So anyways, now that everybody's in my live stream, or at least all the regulars are here, I'm going to tell you, if you were in my live stream yesterday and it was glitching, it would happen because my dad kept calling me. My dad got T-boned as I was live streaming. So it wasn't like a bad accident, but he just kept calling me because he didn't want to know how to handle it with the police and everything. So I wanted to apologize for interrupted stream yesterday at the end of the day, but I'll just let you know, if you're streaming from your iPhone or any phone you have, if somebody keeps calling you nonstop, your stream is going to be very, very choppy and interrupted. Your phone is going to prioritize, they're going to prioritize the phone call. Anyways, That's that. I figured I'd get that off my chest so I don't have to explain myself. Yeah, my pops is good. Actually, the only problem really is, you want to know what the real problem is? We just bought them. I bought him that used CRV. I usually spend a lot of time looking for cars, and I buy them from I buy them from owners. So he had an older car. It was like a 2000. His last car was like a 2007, and we bought him a CRV that was a 2000, I think 19 used. We got an amazing deal on it. We fixed everything that was wrong with it, and after basically less than he had it for 9 months, and here, all right, that's a nice tail. Nah, I don't think I've had bites on these. Let's see. Yeah, so now I think that because he got T-bone right at the B pillar in that CRV, chances are it's gonna need framework. And knowing how that works, I'm guaranteeing that the car is totaled, because the value of the car is probably like around 15,000, and it needs about $15,000 worth of work at a frame shop. So it's over. Split shot rig. I'm gonna try. I did have good luck with them on a jig head. We're gonna try both. I'm just being honest because I'm lazy, and I don't want to switch out my rig. But you know what? We can. I have a hook, and we can set it up as a split shot. Actually, probably in the place where we're going, I think that's going to be a better setup, Z. I think you're right about that. Absolutely on the money about that. I just can't believe there's no bites. This fish has not been pressured for the past 2 months. There has been nobody fishing here. I'm the only person that comes here, or at least came here this year. My favorite animal. Probably going to be orca. That's considered an animal, right? What do we like? No, my kids call me a seal, so it might have to be a seal. Lovingly. Those work with a split shot. It should work with the jig head, but the fish are too lazy to chase it. Yeah, you're not wrong. You know what? We might do a split shot. What's probably going to be best, and I don't know if Ian's still in the chat. He'll be like, "Yep." The best rig right now will probably be a drop shot. Once again, maybe we'll do that. We'll see. We'll see where we get to. But before I do a split shot, I'll just set up a drop shot with one hook, and just slowly drag it through the water column. I was really hoping for a gulp minnow to work today, but it's not working. Hey, what's going on, Liz? Luna Glen. Purple is always good color, or black hair jig. It's clean water like that. The guy up the road fishing for trout says those were the colors he was getting them on. That's in West Virginia, right? In Jersey, we do find that like black spinners work well. There's certain colors that work. Like a yellow jacket looking spinner worked well for me. To be honest, it's all like, did you hear that? That freaking snow is scaring me, man. It's all basically depending on how fish feel when you fish it and what spot you fish, because what works in Jersey might completely not work in Virginia. That's why when you buy a lot of those lures that you see on YouTube, some guy fishing and catching big bass in Texas, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to get me some big fish. And you buy it, and you go to Jersey Lake, and you basically get nothing. That's why. It's a completely different environment, different fish. Best in my opinion right now for your river conditions is either spinner or power bait. Well, you know what? So spinner we used yesterday. That's what I thought was gonna work and I got the best spinner. I used the Vibrax spinner, Blue Fox, and we got nothing. We got no bites. I walked the same stretch of river. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fish like this. That's why I came back with a gulp minnow, because gulp minnow is the only stuff that caught me fish for the past how many live streams. So what we're gonna do is once we get to the spot that I would really want to fish hard, I'm gonna set up a drop shot rig. I think we can fish for another hour. So we're almost there. This is a shallow spot right here. We're not gonna be fishing here for long. Oh, that's right. FG, I forgot to email you yesterday. I forgot that because I went to sleep, put my kid to sleep, and I fell asleep next to him. That's why I forgot. Wait, what's that in the water? What the? I'm not touching that. I don't know what that is. It's a good old Jersey special, man. Let me catch up to the chat real quick. True Callers, have you ever gotten a service on your Legalis? I forgot how long you've been maining it. Joshua, I've had this Legalis for about 9 months, and no, I haven't. I should probably. Well, like, it works perfectly fine. I don't see any problems with it, so I just keep using it. I think I guesstimate about 300 hours on it, based on how much I use it. I bought a second one with a little bigger bail, the 2000. But no, I haven't had any service. It works perfect. Hold on, guys. Oh, man. I'm trying to find if there's a hole. There's no hole here. Usually the spots like these, I have polarized glasses on, and usually spots like these I never catch fish. I'm looking for holes, but let's try it. Yeah, come on, really? Well, I guess we're gonna find out how deep the spot is now because I'm stuck. Stuck. All right, come on. Really? Here we go. Well, now we can't fish here, right? Oh, man. Here, crappie. Let's see what you guys write. Have you ever gotten a service? Let's see. Here, crappie, best colors are lemon, keel, like black, and chartreuse. Pearl bait in spring, and watermelon in late summer. My luck in Jersey has been, but my favorite bait to fish for crappie is either Strike King, like that shad, the clear shad with black and pepper, salt and pepper shad they call it, or gulp minnow. And my jig heads, I just use either black or white jig head, and they both work great. And pink works really well for crappie here. They absolutely love pink. Whenever I try chartreuse in Jersey for crappie, I have no luck. Oh, man. All right, we're almost there. There's a nice hole over there. Very foamy. And that's, I think, where we saw the dead brown yesterday floating by. I don't know if this place got iced over. All right, that was a pretty good cast. Oh, this spot is pretty deep. Not super deep. Let's see. I think I see a bobber across the way. I don't know what kind of animal that is. You guys see him? I think that's a chipmunk. I got 6,000, very overkill. It was thrown away, so I'm using it. It's just so smooth and tight. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about this Legalis that I know people tell me about other reels, but if you tell me pick 1,000 series reel and give me no budget based on what I know about these reels, I'm just gonna pick Legalis and be happy with it for the rest of my life. It's butter smooth, like zero sounds. The drag is perfect. Look, it makes all the right sounds. And I've used it for at least 300 hours. I mean, you can count up all my live streams I've done. And I'm a pretty big, dumb Eastern European man. So I take care of my stuff, but I don't handle it like a princess. So yeah, there's that. Let's see, we got huge black and white crappie in our lake, bigger than any crappie would wash. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll send it to you. You got it. Yeah, G, I'll send it to you for sure. My favorite crappie to eat is not the big crappie because their meat gets kind of fishy. I actually release the big crappie I catch. I like the medium-sized fish. I don't like them too small either. But man, that worm swim's pretty. If I was a fish, I'd definitely eat it. I caught 3-pound crappie 2 years here that dwarfed any crappie I caught when I was a kid living. Damn, that's a big crappie, man. The biggest one I've caught here in Jersey randomly at a public pond was about 1.5 pounds. I actually have a video of it. I put it back in. It was absolutely gigantic. I've actually never. I was so surprised it was I thought I caught a big trout, and when I saw it was a crappie, I was weak, man. We're gonna make it to the place where I wanted to fish the most, and if this doesn't work, we're gonna go for a drop shot rig. Probably something simple with split shots, but I like how the mice tail is swimming. I'm surprised nothing's biting it. Nope, that's not a fish. God damn it! Got snagged. Got excited for a second, but man, that's a deep hole over there. I don't know if I'll be able to get it out. All right, we're about 2 feet deep right now. We're out. That sucks. What I get caught on now? Some dead vegetation. You know what? Let me do a couple of casts with the gulp minnow here. For some reason I want to try it. And then once we get to that big hole I was talking about, we'll switch to a drop shot and we'll try everything. Hey, what's going on, Deon Jones? How you doing, Edor? Let's see, Mr. Andrew Hondo. I caught 4-pound red ear last year. Nice. Didn't know, really? I didn't know those exist. That's cool, man. Alrighty. F4C, are you still in the chat? I'm gonna I'm gonna make it a point to send you an email by 4 p.m. today. Those stickers look pretty good, man. Those stickers you made look pretty good. It's not saltwater rated, but where I am, there's no fresh water. I hold it under a light tap to rinse it. Mainly the spool is still buttery. I'd be careful rinsing a Daiwa legalis, but if you got it for nothing, then yeah. Eventually, though, it's gonna fail. It's gonna come fast because if you do take it, I had a Daiwa reel that I also got extremely cheap, 2 Daiwa reels. And I would be very careful, and I would take them to, because they were 2500s, so they were like perfect for fluke fishing on Jersey Shore, because you always catch small fluke. And I'll be very careful, and I'd take them on a medium rod, and I'd fish with them. And no matter how careful I was, after about 2 years, they both were pretty bad. So yeah, I'm assuming the same thing's gonna. I'm assuming the same thing's gonna happen to your legalis, like I said. But if you got it for cheap or free, then yeah, I guess what I would do if I were you, I'd just sell it and buy a saltwater reel. There's a Daiwa that I have for saltwater. I think it's it's like a $200 reel. I forgot the name of it, but man, it's good. If you can sell your legalis for like $100 or like $80, I'd do that. Let's see. What state are we in? Frederick. We are in New Jersey, the most controversial state other than California. Let's see. Where's Grok? Grok's taking a vacation. The lake of fish has held some of the biggest crappie and bluegill, and now ready here sunfish in my state. Nice. So you're saying you're from West Virginia, right? Is that where you're from? I did fish in West Virginia, and there's a ton of bass in those rivers. It was almost too easy to catch them with gulp minnows. Man, I was hoping to catch some fish today. But here we are. All right, let's go to that hole. Let's rig it differently and try that. Maybe I'll stop abusing you guys. Oh, man, I'm really surprised. Very surprised. So when I saw a brown trout yesterday, I was 100% sure I was going to catch one. Let me put a gulp minnow back on real quick. Okay. A couple of casts with a gulp minnow. But the only thing I have very good luck with when I go fluke fishing, the only thing that absolutely dominates is a gulp jerk shad. That's why I like gulp products so much. Nice. West Virginia is cool. When I used to have my motorcycle, we used to ride out to, well, I still have motorcycles, but we used to ride out to Deals Gap on our motorcycles, and I used to have a Miata. And we used to ride through West Virginia. What a beautiful state. Just so peaceful. People are super chill too, unlike Jersey. My last time I've been to Tail of the Dragon in Northern Carolina was 3 years ago. And I miss it. What's going on, Arthurians? All right, this is the spot. There's another spot I want to try right after this one. Hold on, but that's the spot I want to fish today. because it's super deep. And it also never froze over. I've been here when the freeze was on. It never froze over, so I know the fish there never died. Let's go. Yeah, this is it. This is what I wanted to fish. It's super deep over there. The only problem is there's a tree in the middle of it. Let's see. All right, let's set up a, let me walk this bank real. See, nobody was even here. Well, except for deer. That's deer tricks. Mr. Deer was here. That's about it. Nobody comes here. Try a couple more casts. And then we're gonna set up a drop shot rig. I don't know how deep that hole is, but that looks deep to me. I think this is where we're gonna fish. This looks like a good spot. If I was a trout, I'd totally live here. All right, last cast with a gulp minnow. If you're ever in America of the woods, try Pax Lake near Plum Orchard Lake. You need a yak. Thank you for the tip. I got the older video if you like to see me slaying them, sir, on that lake. Well, what you can do is you can just drop a comment on one of my videos because I can't remember your channel off the top of my head after I'm done. So what I'd say is leave a comment on one of my shorts and I'll follow your channel and I'll definitely check it out. I appreciate the advice. All right, that was my last cast. Hold on, wait, man, that's so tempting. There's a huge, but you guys don't see it. Let me put a polarized thing on you. You can see how deep that is right next to that tree. Very tempting. Very, very tempting. Let me try that one time and then we're gonna go drop shot. Ooh. Maybe one more cast. Get a brown trout. Let me see. That's almost like too good to not to try. All right, let's go set up a drop shot. Got myself a little tree here. Joshua, what's going on? Who else is in here? Artudrians. I have an old Olivey reel. It's a monster, about 6-inch diameter, good for the ocean. Nice. I find that old school Abu Garcia reels are really good too. I don't know how good the current Abu Garcia line is, but what's that? This is one of those spots is that if you see another human, you gotta be a little worried because to track into here, it took me about 30 minutes. Thanks, Andrew Honda. Yep, Just drop me a comment, man. All right, let me throw this in here. Now, I'm gonna use this as my little prep table. All right, this is my salmon thing that I was talking about. These are wax worms. No, these are mealworms. These are salmon eggs. Just gonna put. Let's see what I have. Yep, nice little. I think it's size 8. These hooks are actually very graciously given to me by Ian, aka Tule Spring Trout Raiders. Make a drop shot rig. I moved from the ocean to Western Plains, Australia, and trying to learn to fish rivers and dams. Wow, what a difference. Yeah, if you fish rivers, I don't think you catch. I don't know how deep the rivers are, though. I might be talking crazy to you, but I just use I love using it. See that rod? Just ultralight. You can reel in big fish on it. It's not like it's a baby rod, but any fish on that rod feels amazing. All right, hold on. Here's somebody's Cessna. All right. I don't know. Should I use a drop shot weight today, or should I use a? Let's see what we have. I do have this tungsten drop shot. I really don't want to lose it, but let me see what I have. Yeah. I just hope I don't lose it today. I'll be mad. All right, and we're gonna go with power bait mice tail. Where do you go? All right, fishing with Ferg. Hey, Mitz, what's going on with fishing with Ferg? How's it going, man? We're struggling out here in Jersey. Eagle claw hooks work good for egg fishing. Yeah, eagle claw hooks are good. I have a lot of them. One of my subscribers, Mr. Tule Spring Trout Raiders, was very generous and sent me a care package of mosquito hooks and gamakatsu hooks. So that's what I'm using. He's a cool guy from Vegas, and he makes his own trout lures. Ian, are you still in the chat? All right, here we go. Oh, I just hooked myself. Good. All right. I mean, we have a choice. I can try, you guys want to try a mealworm? I really just want to go straight to power rack, but if you guys want to try a mealworm, we can. Should we try a mealworm? Let's try a mealworm. You know what we can do? We can even mix it up. I got a little cooling station. You know how you come to your store and to your fish department and there's like fish sitting nice? I got my own cooling station. I got a real deal salmon egg here. Like this is from an actual salmon from last season. So what I can do is I can pop one on. See that? I'm not sure how long. It's definitely going to give it a bunch of scent. Yeah, that's not going to stay on. I just grabbed them out of my fridge. But, oh man, that stuff is so sticky. Oh man, that's a lot of flavor. We're going to just dip them in, man. That's some serious flavor. All right. Let's try this. Is this going to work? Nobody knows. All right, so we got our drop shot. We got a mealworm. I'm going to send that bad boy out there. I'm just going to hold it like that for now. Probably should have cast a little further. Oh, you got a sinus infection? I am sorry to hear that, Ferg. That is tough, man. My kid gets those, and I know. Hope you feel better, man. You must not like allergy season. Ooh. That's one thing about having a tungsten drop shot. It's small and it flies like crazy. That's actually how I lost my last drop shot on the live stream. I overcasted it. Okay, that's as good as it. Nope. Good. We got out of there. All right, I'm just going to wait with this mealworm. It does have a ton of scent on it. Never know, I might get a bluegill. I once came up on a fly fisherman here. Not here, but a little bit upstream. And he actually would just like prop his fly fishing rod up and not even touch it. And we just let it sit like that until he got a bite. Bear horse and 14 to 10 pound channel with a blue catfish on my lights. Nice. That's pretty cool. Some of the biggest fish I caught in 5 years have been a 4 pound test and light micro setups. Let's see. Yeah, Ferg, I'm sorry to hear that, man. You know, when I was younger, when people told me they were sick, I was like, man, whatever. It's like, you'll get over it, right? When I got older, it's a bit of a different experience. I feel like a total asshole for telling that to people. Because now that I'm 41, if I get sick, it's like literally having man flu every time. I'm like out. Like when I folded my knee 2 weeks ago, I thought I was dying, man. Hold on. We're just making a little trout dessert. Look, I just put a salmon egg right over the head of that mealworm. Only gonna see that on the Grumpy Orca channel. I'm literally like dripping salmon juice on it. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, it's fun. As long as we're enjoying it, right? I want to go check out another hole, but first I'm going to cast this in. There's a big hole over there too. Oh, dude. Oh my God. That's why I don't like fishing with drop shots in the small rivers, because it's just, I can't cast it properly. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cast it, and I want to go for a little walk, and I want to check. This thing flies like a freaking bullet. Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. Here we go. I'm going to leave it like that. I want to check something out real quick with you guys. There's actually a nice area to prop my rod up here. You see that? All right, it's going nowhere. Yep, we're good. Let's go for a little walk. I don't want to, like, as some of you know, I have pretty bad ADHD, and I can't do slow fishing. So now instead of drop fishing, I'm going for a trip. I want to check out this one spot right here. Oh, that tree fell. Last time I was here, you see that tree? That tree was not in the water last time I was here. I'm gonna keep an eye on my rod, but I don't think anything's gonna happen to it. Last time I was here, that tree was not down. So probably, yeah, you can see it just came down. You see that? That's the roots, it just broke off. So last time, there was a hole right under where that tree is. Man, that was a big hole, because you can see the whole tree root is missing. What's going on, Vitaly? What's up, man? Just made custom lures on my channel, Fish for Trout. Yep. Let's see. Let me catch up to the chat. Mr. Vitaly is from Ukraine. What's going on, man? Slava Ukraine. Oh, man. Yeah, if you guys don't know about Thule, check out his channel. He sent me a bunch of lures that he made himself, and they're just as good as any store lures. That is a deep hole. Dude, look how, man, I'm so pissed now. Oh, that's even a better fishing hole than where we're fishing now. Look at this place. You see this? I'm probably gonna grab my rod and come here, because I can just pop onto this tree. Look, you can just come. Oh man, being old sucks. Oh dude, we're gonna fish here. There's gonna be fish here. That's it, bet. There's a good spot right here. All right, you see that? I'll show you why I think it's gonna be a good spot. You see how deep that is? I am going to, yes sir. I'm gonna come back here and we're gonna fish this spot right now with a drop shot rig. So the reason I drag you guys out here, because last time I was here, once again, that tree, it was leaning over it was kind of leaning over the water, and I saw how deep the hole was there. But now, after all the storms, it fell in. All right, let's go grab my stuff and we're gonna fish here. That's by far the deepest hole I've seen in this area, so I'm gonna assume there's some fish there. Oh, there's also a hole right here. Dude, we're good. We're gonna catch some fish here. That is at least 6 feet deep. We're good now. Let's go. It probably came down when we had all that snow. Yeah, I'm coming back there right now. We can try a lot of things there. Yeah, we can try to fish it for like 30 minutes. Nothing happens, I'm gonna leave you guys alone and I'm gonna track back to my car. Maybe we'll try it again tomorrow. Oh, you know what? We might even have a fish on. Not big fish, but small fish. Let's check it. Or maybe I'm just crazy. Oh yeah, we have a fish. I think we have a fish. Let's check it. Nah, that was just tension. Got overexcited. Yeah, my mealworm is still on. Nothing happened. All right, let's get out of here. All right, let me pick up my stuff. Oh man. That water, yes, it is 37 degrees, 38. We measured the temperature. It's 38 degrees. So what, like 2-3 degrees Celsius? Maybe if it warms up in a few days, I'll be fishing my... That spot is super cool because I don't think anybody really fishes that spot, and there has to be trout in there because they used to stock this river full of trout. Let's go and try it. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try the mealworm for 4 minutes. If it doesn't work, we're gonna try a, oh, by the way, one of these lures is a Thule spring lure. And then we'll try a power worm and we'll try a gulp minnow. I can fish for about, I'd say, 30 more minutes tops. I'm happy the connection here is pretty decent. deep here. I'm gonna shorten my drop shot a little bit. I don't like the weight. I want to get it closer to the bottom. Next thing you know, we'll get a sucker fish. Oh, I know there's a bunch of sucker fish down in that hole. All right, if we're gonna catch a fish, it's gonna happen here. Let's try it. And then we're gonna go to the other side of the tree. Let me just shorten up this drop shot. It's way too long. All right, let's do it. Jeez. And my hands are not even cold. I can't use that excuse. I think we're gonna go with the MyStel first. All right. Well, you know what? Let's try the wax worm. If nothing happens, we'll do a MyStel. Jeez, can't make it. All right, here we go. Okay, let's keep doing that. All right. Sometimes I really wonder if I'm too old for this. You can just do an overhand knot on this. And put away the line. All right, here we go. Should we give it some scent? I think we'll be fine. Let's try to cast it in and see what happens. Damn. It's not too cold, rather than they're just barely moving. So if the fish is not there, they're not gonna. That's why they're not chasing spinners. At least that's what my understanding is. You know what? Let's try this spot. The problem is the fish is really not moving. So if there's no trout around there, they're not gonna move up like they would if the water was 50 degrees. So you basically kind of almost have to pinpoint where the fish is. I think a lot of ice fishing guys, that's why they use fish finder and front facing sonar, because they drill multiple holes. They say if the fish is not under them, there's going to be no bites, basically. At least that's what people say when they're fishing for crappie. Nah, hold on. You know what? Let me put a MyStel on, because I don't think this is working. At least in my mind. I do catch a lot of trout on stock trout on mealworms in the spring. There you go. I even have a piece of mealworm on it. Just for fun. All right, here we go. This is how we had bites on our last trip, so let's try it. I really can't cast this properly because that drop shot weight is way too heavy. So I'm casting like a... All right, and then I'm gonna just drag it through the water column slowly. Yeah, the power one, right? People swear by them. I did catch fish on them. I'm just not as lucky as everybody else is with them. Look at this. This is like picture perfect. You can see the snow melting off the tree. You hear that? Actually, if I can get up there, I might actually, I see a road somewhere there. I might be able to just, instead of trekking through the woods and the rivers, I might be able to get out of here if I get on the road. So I'm slowly kind of trying to reel it back. Ronio is right by Lake Okeechobee. You got to check out Ronio's channel. He's no joke, he catches like 80 crappie every time he goes out, if not more. And he fillets them too, which is impressive. Wow, that worm swims so perfect. It swims so perfect on a drop shot. Let me show it to you guys. No, really, like, I'm not bullshitting. Look. You see that? So when you swim it on a drop shot, look how perfectly it swims. You see that? It has no weight on it, so it's perfect. That's Mr. Two Spring Trout Raiders, Mr. Ian, who insisted that we use drop shots. Let me get under this tree. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, this is a little better. Hold on. This is by far the deepest hole out here, so let's try. Oh, shit. Oh, wow. Okay, that's as good of a cast as any. That was pretty good. Yeah, so Ian is from what, Nevada? And that's where he uses them there when they stock trout. Well, he uses similar stuff. I think his buddy has a YouTube channel. He uses the other power worms without the, that don't have the white tip. But every time I see somebody show up fishing here, trout fishing, they always have these. Man, I'm really sad that tree fell in. But you can almost like sit on it, right? And just fish from it with a kid. Like I'm definitely bringing my kid here. Once the temps warm up. I know there's a bunch of fish in that hole. What's going on, Vitaly Odachuk? Wait, Vitaly, can you hear me? So, are you actually? You're not active. You're not active in combat right now, obviously, because you would have to be you wouldn't have your phone on you. So you're probably in Kiev, right? My buddy just came back from Ukraine. Well, technically Poland, but all I know is that taking phones to the front lines is a bozo no-no. Like, even swimming this my style looks good. Let me get it closer to the log. If anybody's interested in any custom lures, yes, that's right. Mr. Ian is, he's the real deal. This is one of his, wait, do I have it on me? I left it on the bank there. But yeah, he makes some amazing lures. He has all those CNC molds and everything. Actually, there's a guy in Ukraine that has a aluminum CNC machine that produces a lot of molds like that. I'm from Miccosukee, Florida. My mom's moved. Got it. I think Florida is probably the best state for fishing. I know people will argue with me. Me personally, I would want to fish in Maine and live. I just don't like when it's too warm. But all the fishermen say that the best fishing they've ever done in their life was in Florida. Especially if you got a nice boat, or any boat really. Yeah, I'm really surprised we're not getting any bites. I had big hopes. I was stuck on something. I had big hopes for this spot. I was specifically dragging you guys here. Oh, man. When the weather warms up, I'm actually going to get up on that tree and just drop fish from there. Let me try that. Cast over there. Maybe there's something there. There's a little stream that flows in. Yeah, but I'm surprised how pretty the mice tail swims. It swims very natural on a drop shot. Now, speaking of sights fishing, I have not seen a single fish. Like, I haven't seen anything, except for that dead fish that we caught in the water yesterday. I have not seen a fish. Lake Okeechobee. So I've heard so many things about Lake Okeechobee. I gotta go there. You guys are not helping. I might have to go see Romeo and Lake Okeechobee. Well, you know who's from Kentucky? Fish on Entertainment. Those two kids are from Kentucky. I mean, I'm calling them kids because I'm 40. But those two kids that I think they have about like 4,000 subs. They're from Kentucky. Fish on Entertainment. They have some funny live streams. But yeah, hold on. Watch this. My chest pack. It says Okeechobee. Oh, man. One day I'm gonna be old enough to just go and fish wherever I want. For now, for the next 15 years, I'm going to be stuck in Jersey. Look how pretty that is, though. Got a little water stream. It's nice. You know, I was thinking maybe I'll cast this in like I did last time, and we'll go check out another hole. I don't have much time to play with, but I do have the wax worms on me. I don't want to bore you guys to death. If there was active trout out there in those holes, I should have had a bite by now. You know what? Let's do what I was planning to do. Let's throw a couple of mealworms on, and let's go for a little walkie walk. I just gotta prop my rod up on it somewhere. I can only do this. My brain can only handle this for about 15 minutes. Manner. Let's take this off. If you think I'm bad, and try fishing with my older kid. He can only go about 10 minutes if he's not catching any fish. They have zero attention span. All right. Oh, this guy is thick. Look at this mealworm. All right, buddy, come on. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Don't bite. No bite. All right, let's leave him out there to hang out. Oh, dude, that was a perfect cast. I just missed that branch right there. All right, here we go. Look at that. That was just made for me here. All right. Let's go on a little trip. I want to see what kind of holes there are here. I've never been here before. What's going on, Derek? Wait, Ronya, you saying that Okeechobee Fats is from your hometown? Or the company? Dude, what's that? Oh, just a piece of, it's a piece of, I thought it was something. I'm gonna take this piece of glass and take it home just in case some kid runs around here. Wow, man. How can you go walking around Jersey and not find a can of a White Claw? Or whatever that is. Is that one of those vodka drinks? High noon. All right, we'll take that home. Some pretty rocks out here. All right. Let's see. Oh, this looks pretty good. It's shallow here. Fish are too drunk to eat. That's a good one, Jason. That is a good one. That right there is actually a pretty deep hole. I know. This is supposed to be a fishing live stream, but we're just walking around. All right, let's go back to the rod. I thought there was going to be... This stuff is pretty shallow over here. I think the biggest hole out of this half a mile stretch of the river is where we're fishing now. I guess I'll be using my trout net for some high noons today. That's the only thing we can do today is take that can home. That's about it. That's about all she wrote. All right, I'm all defeated today. All right, let's take this. Let's take the high noon home. Do some good. Clean out the river. Zero action on a mealworm. It's amazing. Not even a sucker fish. Oh look, I found another one of these bad boys. Guys, we're going. Somebody should get the chat going. Somebody write this up. We got 2 cans so far. Can we get 3? I'm worried that we might limit out. I don't know what the can limit is in Jersey. Hold on. I see a 3rd one. Oh, this is good. Look at that. Where else are you gonna get this? I'm gonna mess up my. Check this out. All right. We got 3 cans. I think they're all proper size. Oh man. No luck today, Firearms. What's going on, Mr. Firearms? Or Mrs.? I got trout fishing, bass fishing, pan fishing, visitor, and my older stuff. Are you a kayak fisherman? I'm also a kayak fisherman of sorts. That's at least how I get my kids out there, because if they get bored fishing, they at least can kayak around. Yeah, but that drop shot rig is in the water right now and nothing's happening. You can see my tip. Sad. Very, very sad. Ronnie, are you going to live stream today? Still can't believe there's 0 bites. All right, let me put my... So we got 3 beer cans. Nice. Got it. Hold on. Am I seeing things, or is my rod... Hold on, we're getting some action on that rod tip. Hold on. It's probably just stuff in the river. That's what happened to me last time. I was getting overexcited. That is what happened last time. Maybe we should just come here with a bunch of worms and 3 fishing rods and just spread them out. Catch a bunch of sucker fish. I don't know what to do at this point. I might need therapy after this fishing. Yeah, there's nothing at the end of that line. Let me see. Let me take my net off. Hold on, guys. So I'm going to tell you real quick, since I have 5 minutes before I call this a day. The struggle has been real. Hold on. I'm gonna show you the lure that Ian makes from Thule, Mr. Thule Trout Spring Raiders. I have one of his lures right here in my power bait pack. I kept it there for some flavor. But yeah, he makes intricate stuff like this. And the only problem is he sent it to me around Christmas time. So there's nothing in Jersey they can really catch during, winter. But watch me catch a bunch of giant panfish and trout on this once the weather warms up. So yeah, you gotta appreciate the guy that can make this at his own house. And they're pretty sturdy. They don't break off easy. I did, like I said, I kept it in my power bait pack to give it some flavor. All right, so I think if we have no bite in the next minute, I'm gonna stop torturing you. I think the rep for the summary for the day is 3 cans. We cleaned up. We got a Coca-Cola can, High Noon, and what else we got? That looks like a Corona can. Can never go fishing and not find a Corona can. You ever fished the Stick Marsh and Palm Bay? Oh, that's Verona, right? Yeah. He has a ton. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. We're not done here yet. Look at that, boys. I got, what is this? Oh, Heineken. All right. It's amazing. I swear, there's like, in this park, there's a gazillion garbage cans. And people still choose to just do this. Like, are they afraid they're going to get caught with a beverage or something? I don't know. All right, let's pull the rod out. And I think we're going to call it a day, boys and girls. So my next strategy for this spot, I'll bring a trout rod and I'll bring two. All right, that's not a fish, is it? Stop it. Nope. I think we're snagged. Oh, no, not the... No, that's it. It's game over now because that's my drop shot rig too. Ah. Yeah, that's way too deep for me to just walk in there. That is way too... Yeah, this is getting crazy. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to break this off. Yep, it's off. Yeah, unfortunately, we lost our tungsten drop shot, which makes me mad, but it is what it is. It wasn't casting good anyway. Screw it. I'm going to wrap this around here. Alrighty then. I'm going to call it a day today. We got 4 beer cans, 0 fish. We found a new spot to fish though. So maybe tomorrow I'll come back here with a different plan. Alrighty. Let me thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'm sorry. I think this is the 3rd live stream in a row that I caught no fish, but it is what it is. Hope you have a good night, and hope everybody feels great. Take it easy, everybody.